Well, that's a very real and a very important question if you are a Dasher going into 2021. And it's also a question that over 3,000 other Dashers answered, and they gave a pretty surprising response. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mike. This channel is dedicated to your success in this gig economy, the side hustle. So if you are new here, consider subscribing. And for the best accessories in any niche in this gig economy, visit my Amazon storefront, that linked down below. So is DoorDash doing enough for their drivers, their DoorDash Dashers, as we head into 2021? Well, honestly, what does that even mean, doing enough for Dashers? Well, to help us just understand and define that question, I'm gonna break that down into 5 criteria in this video. So if you're a current Dasher or if you're considering a dashing, this is definitely a video you're gonna wanna watch to the end. So criteria number 1, is DoorDash paying enough? Criteria number 2, are they keeping their app busy enough for you as a driver? Number 3, do they have support systems for problems? Number 4, are they providing reliable services as far as a reliable app? And number 5, what benefits are they offering you as a Dasher? So we're just gonna jump into number 1, one of the most important things, of course, that is pay. And is DoorDash paying you enough? So to understand this, let's understand how DoorDash pays you as a Dasher. Whenever DoorDash is calculating pay for you as a driver, it's broken down like this. Number 1, a base pay, plus any applicable promotions, plus any tips you receive. Now this is straight from DoorDash's website, and this is very important. The DoorDash base pay for you as a driver is anywhere from $2 to $10. Now their website continues. It states, you'll always earn base pay. Now promotions and tips vary by delivery. Okay, so if promotions and tips aren't guaranteed, because that's what we just read from the website, then it really comes down to the base pay. It's really just that. It's the staple pay. It's the base pay that you're guaranteed on every delivery. But if that ranges anywhere from a very low $2 upwards of a very strong $10, what should you expect when you're driving? Now, DoorDash is going to consider things like time, the distance for the delivery, the desirability as far as who's accepting this delivery, or is it just getting ignored when presented to other Dashers? So all of that goes into actual base pay. And then again, if it's busy enough, DoorDash may offer the bonus pay as far as peak pay. And then again, hopefully your customer is tipping. So let's wrap this all together and actually answer the first question. Are they paying you enough? I'm a big believer in being real with you and giving both sides and just giving you my objective, honest opinion on driving and these apps. So I need to set some very real expectations when it comes to Dasher earnings. Think about the pay structure for what you're doing. It is a food delivery app. And yes, the base pay, $2 pretty low to $10 pretty high. As an independent contractor working for DoorDash, there's really no earnings guarantees for you as a driver. Now, in some marketplaces, that is changing next year. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. So generally, again, there's no earnings guarantees. But moreover than that, we need to talk about the pay and the service level. I say service level, but I need to be honest with you, it's really skill level with these apps. It's pretty straightforward. It's pretty easy. There's no prerequisite for education, for degrees, what have you. And again, it's pretty cut and dry. It's delivering A to B, it's food delivery. You cannot expect these apps to pay out $20, $30, $40+ in pay for food delivery. That's why there's low base pay, in part because there's expenses on their end. They're paying for the skill level, they're paying for the driver pool, and then they have to manage everything else, the restaurants and the consumer side as well. Now that's not saying you can't make $20 or $30 per hour in gross revenue. That is the premise of this channel, to make sure you can make as much money as possible in this gig economy. But are they paying enough? I mean, kind of. There is no mandate to pay you that $20, $30+ an hour premium, let's say, in other job industries. But again, I don't want you to get discouraged because there are ways to make good money on these side hustle apps when done right. So number 2, is DoorDash keeping these apps busy enough for you as a driver? To understand this, we really need to understand the actual ecosystem of how DoorDash works. Citing this article from Forbes, DoorDash currently has a 51% market share when it comes to food delivery apps. Now, speaking on the growth and the trajectory of the company, DoorDash COO Christopher Payne states that the restaurant space remains a priority. Payne points out that especially in suburban markets, 10% or less of restaurants have a viable e-commerce presence. So relating back to keeping you busy as a driver, we saw that DoorDash is the #1 leader in the food delivery space. And additionally, leaders at DoorDash see even more opportunities in the market. Now, secondly, if you didn't know, there's really no cap as far as how many drivers these apps, DoorDash especially here, bring onto their platform. But that may not be as much of a concern, especially right now. Now, if we look at the actual data, let's compare quarter over quarter from Q2 and Q3 from 2019 to 2020. Now, this data from MarketWatch.com via SEC filings show a doubling of order requests year over year. And as you probably know, that is most solely due to the current landscape with the closure of in-restaurant dining. So yes, #1, there may be an uncapped amount of drivers coming on the platform, but frankly, that's been the case since day one. Now, #2, with the current landscape, we're seeing a really massive influx in orders. But #3, just because we're getting a ton of orders doesn't mean they're necessarily strong orders as far as payouts. #3, is DoorDash providing strong support systems to you as a Dasher? I need to speak anecdotally here because really the best way to speak about DoorDash's support system is to actually speak with DoorDash's support system. So as a current Dasher, both in San Diego, California, and most recently here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, I've completed over 1,500 completed deliveries and I've had my fair share of reaching out to support via social media or through the app. Whenever I've reached out to support, really in the times where I needed them the most, which is when I'm actually on the road, on a dash, especially if I'm standing in front of a cash register and something is not working, that's when I needed them the most. So how do they do? In my personal experience, speaking with a Dasher support, it's been pretty good. It's been fast. For instance, whenever you are placing a red card order, so you're ordering yourself and you're paying with a pre-authorized DoorDash red card, what happens if that's declined? Well, obviously you're going to reach out to support and there's a help section in your Dasher app to do that, either via text message or you can call. So I've done both. It's been fast, it's been resolved, and actually 2 times I just wanted to avoid standing at the cash register and causing more of a problem and just paying with my own funds, which is an option. It's a last resort option, but you can do it. And both times I've been reimbursed really immediately after showing my payment receipt from DoorDash support. And moreover, I've had questions on my accounts with the red card, with other things, and I've reached out via email or on social media and same kind of thing. It's been pretty fast and it's always been resolved. Now, full disclosure, I am not sponsored in any way from the company. I'm not affiliated with the company in any way other than being a Dasher like yourself. Just want to get that out there. And also your miles may vary. Again, like I stated at the beginning, this is my personal experience with DoorDash support. #4, let's pivot and talk about the reliability of the Dasher app. Well, here's a tweet from me just a month ago on November 21st, talking about a DoorDash Dasher app outage. And here's one earlier in the year from April 17th, detailing the same thing. And honestly, those are just the ones that I caught because I was driving or I was going in the Dasher app. The point is, I've said it for months, probably a year plus now, is I don't feel, especially because how large the market share is for DoorDash, I don't feel they have a very secure app. I'm not really talking about your information security per se. Let's call it rather stability. You know, from my experience, and I do hear this from other Dashers, I don't see Uber Eats crashing like this. I don't see Postmates crashing like this. To be fair, I feel like 95% of the time you'll be fine. But I mean, there's still 5% of the time where the app may crash. And just so you know, if it does crash, especially during a dash, you're not gonna be reimbursed for any lost time. And then #5, is DoorDash doing a good enough job as far as providing you Dasher benefits? Let's quickly summarize some of the biggest benefits that you do get as a Dasher. So number one, it's top a Dasher. You got to qualify every month, but that will prioritize you for orders over other Dashers. Number two, of course, there are bonus pay opportunities. There's peak pay bonuses. If it's busy enough in that marketplace at that time, then DoorDash may pay you an extra amount per delivery. And then still in beta are DoorDash challenges. That's the batched bonuses. So DoorDash may say, okay, drive 10 deliveries and we'll give you an extra X amount of dollars. Now, brand new to 2020, if you're a driver in California, you get additional benefits. Now, even if you're not a driver in California, this is still good to know. Drivers in California will soon get an earnings guarantee. That is 120% of the minimum wage in that city. Now note that is just for active time, so when you actually have a delivery, that starts from the moment you accept the delivery until you complete the delivery. Additionally, those drivers will also get 30 cents per mile for expenses. And also, as long as you qualify with 15 hours of dashing per week, you'll also qualify for health insurance stipends. So as mentioned, when polled, over 3,000 other Dashers answered this question: do they think that DoorDash is doing enough for Dashers as we head into 2021? And 68% said no. 22% said they were unsure, with just 10% saying yes. But I'm curious how you would answer that question. So let us know down below in the comments. Now, if you got value in this video, definitely drop me a like. And you can also click or tap the screen here for my most recent video, as well as a video recommended for you. And I'll see you in the next one.